Hi, welcome to Evidence for Faith as we're continuing our study here on David and the Giants, evidence for King David. And now we're going to be looking at another major piece of evidence, the third major piece of evidence that we have today of the existence of David, and it's called the bubastite portal. Now, this is taking place, this artifact that we are going to be describing here in this lesson is all about the Temple of Amun in Karnak, Egypt. Is where this is located. And now this has been visited by many scholars and tourists over the years. Probably many of you who have been to Egypt no doubt have gone to the Temple of Karnak and seen this. This temple artifact that we see, it's written on a wall that we'll be looking at in just a second, because the Egyptians would record their military invasions and stuff on the wall. Well, this one is talking about a pharaoh by the name of Shishak I. The Bible calls him Shishak. And it talks about his invasion. Now, he's an old man, but his invasion into the Levant, the area of Israel, and that he conquered many cities in Israel, including the cities of what would be the kingdom of Judah eventually, but the areas of David. Then what he did, he had these things recorded. His victories were recorded on the walls of the temple. So let's take a look. Let's dive into this and see, what does this temple give us, showing us evidence that King David is an actual historical person and that the Bible is true. Well, this third major piece of evidence was found by an Egyptologist. His name is Kenneth Kitchen. Kenneth Kitchen found, as he was studying about the Egyptians and certain things in the Temple of Karnak in Egypt. Now, just to let you know, Kenneth Kitchen, he is alive today, at least at the time we're recording this. He works from the University of Liverpool. Very respected archaeologist. And what he was doing, he was studying the Temple of Amun. Well, we commonly call that, in tourist attractions, it's called the Temple of Karnak, because it's in Karnak. But on the walls, because they would write their history and stuff on the walls of things, we write things on walls in schools and in bathrooms, but they wrote on their temples historical things. And in this, it's talking about, Kenneth Kitchen is reading and was studying about how Pharaoh Shishak had an invasion of Judah and Israel. And the thing is, it's described also in the Bible. In 1 Kings chapter 14, verses 25 and 26, we read, in the fifth year of King Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem. He took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He took away everything. He also took away all the shields of gold that Solomon had made. In other words, Shishak, Pharaoh Shishak, comes up and conquers David's grandson, Rehoboam, when the country had already split. There'd been a coup by Jeroboam I. The country had split, and they are taken over by these Egyptians. The Egyptians conquered not just Jerusalem, but many other cities and other nations around. Shishak was something else. Now, who is Shishak? There's the question, which was also one of the things on Kenneth Kitchen's mind, I'm certain. Shishak, who reigned between 945 to 924 BC. Now, this fits the time frame of Rehoboam's reign that we see in the Bible. Shishak is believed to be the Hebrew name for Pharaoh Shishak I, who died around 925 BC. So this does fit the time frame here. And around 925 is when Shishak I, we know, invaded Israel and Judah and other places, and he captured cities and he plundered Jerusalem. We see this in the Bible. We saw Kenneth Kitchen found this written on the walls of the temple there. He displayed Shishak, or Shishak I, displayed his victories on what's called the bubastite portal, which is the entryway. If those of who have been to Egypt, when you go into the Temple of Karnak, there's a columned area, and this is where it's displayed, right at the entrance of this, the gateway of this, and in the Temple of Karnak, which is in Thebes. Now, Shishak I, Shishak, if you will, had reliefs of his campaign carved. There's an image of him, as you can see in the image that we have here, being shown to you, of him standing in a victory-like pose, and around him and around his body are little cartouches that are places that he conquered. That's how they recorded it. So these are carved into the walls. These are little cartouches, little ovals with hieroglyphics. Some of them are eroded because of time, but some are very easy to read. Some are a little bit more difficult. On one of them, it's what's called cartouche number 106 is how they've labeled this. You see an image that looks like this. And this says on here, this is one of the cities, one of the victories of Shishak of the Bible, one of the places that he conquered. This is an enlargement of it. No, I didn't chop this off the temple. It's a replica, but it's an exact replica showing of what we can see here. And it states on here in hieroglyphics, the heights of David, or David, the heights of David. So again, we see David's name on something. Now, the way this reads is really interesting because hieroglyphics, they don't have all the letters we have in our English alphabet. The hand that you see here, I'm trying to point this out, the hand that we see represents like a T, or it can be a D. There were no D's in Egyptian hieroglyphics, but there were T's. T's are also as D's. Under the hand, there is a falcon, and the falcon represents like the letter A. So you can see a falcon. Next, there is a sling. And the sling gives us like a V sound, a U or a V sound that we see here. Underneath there is a rope. And the rope also gives us a letter, as we see too. It gives us the T, or like a TH, but a T sound. Thus, if you look at this, we have David. And that's what Kenneth Kitchen discovered as he studied this carefully and with different imaging and things. But we're not done. Do you notice that underneath there's two lines and a crown? This indicates a foreign king. So David, the foreign king. How can it not be David in the Bible? I mean, this is David. How cool is that? Now, there are some scholars that disagree with Kenneth Kitchen's conclusions. A lot of them, they just don't like to believe anything with the Bible. It's like some people are like, as my dad used to say, some people are like owls. The more light you shine on them, the less they see. But Kenneth Kitchen has written about this numerous times, and he says that this is another outside of the Bible, outside of the Bible source, showing that David actually lived, of his existence. And not just that he was a powerful person, that he was a king, just like as the Bible states he was.
Support the show. Become a donor at evidenceforfaith.org/give.